mean, I've been in environments where there's lighting and, you know, they put the lights on you and they move this around, or there's a stage where they physically bring out all the props and everything like that. But to be, honestly, inside of a video game is just amazingly cool.
A live show with 48 hours, with this technology, with 3 cameras, and that level of production hasn't been achieved or been produced in Europe so far.
We bring the customer needs together with, of course, the community needs, but also with all the other great partners we have in this whole production.
One of the main differences I think that virtual TechEd has with a regular physical event is the amount of people that we're going to be able to reach. Here we're talking about 50, 60, 100,000 people that will be able to look at the content, they'll be able to understand what SAP has to offer, and they'll even be able to get hands-on experience. And also, because you can watch the sessions afterwards, I really hope that we continue to engage with the community with regard to the TechEd sessions all throughout the next year.
Welcome back to SAP TechEd 2020 on Channel 1. I'm super excited to have you back on, and also my co-host Menina.
Hi everyone.
Menina, I know that we are again talking about upskilling in this hour, and I know you have quite some cool stuff for us, right?
Correct. We have community talks coming up, and you probably want to hear from me what community talks are.
Yeah, I know. My bridges are improvable, but
I know. So let me continue. Community talks are very similar to what we already know is happening at other SAP community events, such as SAP Inside Tracks or SAP Online Tracks. We also see the same thing happening in SAP Community. So on the platform, community.sap.com, where community members help each other, answering questions, writing blog posts, sharing their experiences, anything that they can share around tips and tricks, working with SAP products or technologies. And that's why we're super excited to announce what the upcoming sessions are in this hour. So first of all, we will have a team of 3 sharing their experience with running SAP Data Warehouse Cloud in a live environment. And then we'll switch into a real life environment, checking in with someone, an SAP mentor in USA, together with a SAP community advocate, Lena Stodal. After that, we will hear from very special women, SAP champions, hearing from them how they work and experience, share their insights working in the tech industry. So looking very much forward to that. Max, I know you are excited about the very first session, which is about Data Warehouse Cloud. Tell us why, and then you can maybe kick it off from there.
I'm always excited, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I'm very excited for a special topic in the next hour.
But you were super excited about that one, I know.
I do relate very much to the next talk. We hear about SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. And to be honest, I've been an analytics consultant with lots of tasks or lots of touch points with the SAP Business Warehouse. And I wasn't able to get my hands dirty yet with Data Warehouse Cloud, so I'm very much looking forward for our next talk. We will have with us Ronald Cronenberg, SAP mentor and CIO of Interdops, joined by 2 colleagues of him, Xavier Hacking, front-end developer and SAP press author, and last but not least, Tim Costa, SAP BI backend consultant, and he calls himself an SQL crack. You know the difference between me and them? They already have lots of experience with data warehouse cloud in a live and production environment. I'm super honored to welcome also our virtual host today, Neil Pixon. Sorry for that. Neil, I'm very honored to have you on, and congrats, by the way, to your new role. I've just heard about that.
Thanks.
Neil is a SAP analytics consultant. Also, welcome to you guys. Sorry for missing out on that.
Also from me.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'd like to hand it over to you, Neil, to fire some questions on those data warehouse cloud experts.
Yes. Thank you, Max and Minina. I'm your host today, taking through the SAP Data Warehouse Cloud in a live environment session. And it's a great honor to be with InterDOS today. Let's get know InterDOS. They have a newly implemented data warehouse cloud project, and I would like to get know them more. So, Ronald, tell us more about the InterDOS. Who is InterDOS? And who is your client? What is the background of this project? Can you share the details?
Sure, Neil. Thanks. So InterDOS is a very small consulting company in Den Bosch in the Netherlands. So we are actually near the SAP office. We are only 30 people and we do SAP BI and SAP BI only. We have been doing that for close to 16 years now. And that basically means that we do SAC, lots of SAP Analytics Cloud, BW, HANA native work, and also a data warehouse cloud. And we have done that at our client IGM. And the story today goes about IGM. So who is IGM? IGM is a mid-sized chemical company. And this company is in the middle of a rollout of S/4HANA public cloud. They have a ton of legacy ERP systems, so running Navision and Asian systems and you name it. They also had SQL databases, they had data in Click, data all over the place, and basically what we needed was a way to combine and consolidate all that data. So we had to combine the legacy data coming from systems with S/4HANA public cloud data, and we were using the CDS views and OData for that. So what we, in the beginning of the project, did somewhere in January is we took a look at SAC, but we realized, let's say, that we needed more modeling power and also a way of storing all those different data sources. And the reason for that is, for instance, because we are creating one customer and one material, stuff we do in data warehousing, combining and harmonizing data. We needed a tool for that. And S/4HANA public cloud is used by IGM. They have a cloud strategy. So DWC, Data Warehouse Cloud, was actually a perfect candidate. And we are very happy that indeed we are live since a couple of weeks. So that's basically IGM and our project.
Sounds cool. Good job. Congratulations, guys. And how is the data warehouse cloud used in the BI landscape?
Yeah, like Ronald said, we have the data warehouse cloud. It's basically the heart of the BI stack. We have around 100 users now, and that's for a relatively small company. So it's quite widely used, basically. The question was at the beginning of the project, how are we going to set it up? Because we have multiple source systems. It's either S/4HANA Cloud, we have Aggresso and the systems in China, Brazil, and of course we have a lot of flat files. So what we did is we have OData connections towards S/4HANA Cloud, and we also get flat files, and those flat files are pushed into the HANA database that's sitting underneath Data Warehouse Cloud through CPI data services. We then consume this data via decoupling views into an acquisition layer, and this we use these decoupling views to cater for the fact that you always have changes in your flat files or in your OData services. What you don't want is that on the moment something changes in your source system, that all of a sudden your whole your whole model crashes. And in our case, that would crash multiple dashboards as well. So it's built in there for the flexibility and to be able to always pick up the latest changes, basically. On top of the acquisition layer, we have a business logic layer. And this is where we do what is my favorite topic, the SQL complexity. Although IGM is a very small company, they have bought several competitors in the past, and so they all have different systems. And what you want is harmonized data sets, what Ronald explained. So what we do, for example, is through using multiple mapping files, we go from, I think, 6 or 7 systems to one customer, the customer that is in S/4HANA Cloud. So we're all mapping that to one customer so that the business at the end can recognize what that customer is. The mapping files can be updated by the customer themselves. So basically, all we did is set up the SQL logic, and now everything is flowing through it. And that ends up in a reporting layer that, again, is built on decoupling views. Because we only have one schema at this moment in Data Warehouse Cloud. That's the way we set it up in the beginning. And Xavier built quite kind of nice dashboards on that. And Xavier doesn't like it when I break his dashboards because I'm working on the data set. Sometimes it happens. But what we try to do is we tried with those decoupling views, we try to stabilize basically everything. And the report layer is also acting up as a semantic layer. So there's where we actually go from a currency, we set units of measures to measures, etc. We give key and text to SAC, and then Xavier can build his dashboards.
All right. Once data is prepared, and how is it then visualized? How did you create all those dashboards? And is it only done within the embedded SAP Analytics Cloud of Data Warehouse Cloud?
Yeah, let's talk a bit about reporting here. Because one of the cool things about Data Warehouse Cloud is that it comes with an embedded version of SAC. So we get all the reporting capabilities that we know from the SAP Analytics Cloud, but it's integrated within Data Warehouse Cloud itself. And we don't have to set up connections, set up an environment. We can reuse all the user accounts that are already created for Data Warehouse Cloud. So it's really a super fast start into reporting when we have a Data Warehouse Cloud project. What's also really nice is that it's giving us the opportunity to have a very fast and iterative way of developing. For example, if Tim adds a field to one of the Data Warehouse Cloud views, then we can almost immediately pick up that field on the SAC side and continue the report building on top of that. So that is a system that's very handy and very fast in developing cool dashboards for the users. So what we did, we built a bunch of dashboards in a very short time. The concept of the dashboard is pretty much a classical BI dashboard. So we have a lot of high-level KPIs that we show and a couple of visualizations. We have some filters on that, a bit of interactivity between the pages and the widgets that we show. And what we always do in these kinds of dashboards is add a page that we call then the Explorer, where you put on a very simple table. But importantly, we enable the Explorer functionality that SAC has. And with that, we give the option to the users to dive into the data behind a chart or behind a table. And then they basically end up in the Data Warehouse Cloud view that Tim has prepared on the Data Warehouse Cloud side. And they can make use of all the fields that are available in there. So they can use drag and drop and put in filters and create their own tables and charts. And they can do all of that within the Explorer functionality of SAC. And for us as a development team, the only thing that we have to do is enable this Explorer by checking the check mark. And then we get all this functionality out of the box for all the end users. So that's a really cool feature that we always include in the dashboards that we are building. Another nice feature that we are using is the SAC catalog. It's also quite new in the world of SAC. So that's basically an entry page that we have for end users to get to their reports. So instead of asking them to browse the whole SAC platform and find the report, they just get a launch page with a couple of tiles on it that also give a bit of context about what they're about to see in their reports. So that's a catalog. That's also something we use quite a lot. So that's all related to the embedded SAC in Data Warehouse Cloud. Next to that, we actually also have a standalone SAP Analytics Cloud environment, and we use that purely for planning, at least at the moment. So what we do is we export data from Data Warehouse Cloud, which we import then again in a planning model in that standalone SAC tenant. We also build a couple of stories on top of that model, and the planners, well, they can review the results from the past and they can make adjustments to the planning for the future periods. So that's another scenario that we are also fetching a bit in this whole project. Eventually, I think we want to go back to just a single SAC environment in the end. Technically, that's already possible. So I believe since last summer, there is an option to use a live Data Warehouse Cloud connection from within SAC, so also from within the SAC standalone tenants. And that means that we can connect to any Data Warehouse Cloud environment there is. Just like we would now connect to an SAP HANA or an SAP BW source. Only then it's going to be SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. But that's something probably for next year. For now, we're pretty happy with this setup with reporting on top of Data Warehouse Cloud.
Sounds really cool, guys, really cool. And I would like to ask, what is the key takeaway points from this implementation? And you shared an amazing success story. But how was the customer feedbacks, and are they all satisfied?
That's a good question, because in the end, that's what really counts, right? So they are very happy, and as a result, we are also very happy as an implementation partner. Of course, it was quite a journey, because it was one of the first, maybe even the first DWC implementation in Europe. And the beginning of the project, we had some challenges, of course, because it was a brand new project. Especially during that implementation phase, we saw that the product was getting more and more stable, and also the client was getting more, let's say, I wanted to say stable, that was not the correct word, but he was more, let's say, it was easier for them also to determine the specifications which were required. So the mapping tables and what mapping requirements they had. So customer was very happy. In terms of, let's say, the best practices or the key takeaway points, I think one of the important key takeaway points is don't underestimate the effort you actually have to do in S/4HANA in order to combine CDS views. So as Tim mentioned, we use CDS views and the OData services on top of that in order to feed the data warehouse. And to find out which DWC or which CDS view you require and what data you need to combine, that's actually quite a challenge. From a technical perspective, that's not even that difficult, but it's more difficult to find the right CDS views. Unfortunately, we already have done quite a number of CDS view implementations, so we now know, basically we have an own library of DWC or CDS views. So we know which ones to use, but that's really something you need to know and understand when you start a project with data warehouse in combination with S/4HANA. I think the second thing is that you need a strong architecture. So like Tim mentioned, we are doing tons and tons of mapping, so we have lots of complex SQL views, and in order to be able to do that, you need basically an architecture like you would have in BW4HANA. I mean, there you also have sometimes still an acquisition layer or a propagation layer, and then you virtually build up the data. There's no difference when you're running DWC, especially in the case of IGM, because they are running it as a full-blown data warehouse. So that means that you have to think about these SQL decouple views Tim was referring to. And also, how do I make it stable enough so that it don't break the dashboards, basically. That's also a very important part. But in the end of the day, IGM again is very happy. They have one single reporting source. They can globally report sales data as well as stock data. So they're extremely happy with that. They can also report out of Excel. They are using an ODBC connection. And that's one of the feedback points for SAP is that they really need to fix the AFO connection to DWC because that is still lagging behind a bit. And we are hoping that in the next coming weeks, we can actually use analysis for office in combination with DWC models. That will be very good. That will be very cool because then you can actually also use the Excel plugin. So that is something which is high on our Christmas wish list, let's say.
All right, last question. For the developers are looking, what are the most important skills that you need to start looking with Data Warehouse Cloud?
SQL, I guess, right, guys?
Yeah. Yeah, next to a skill set, I think it's also handy to have some friends in Germany because we had some hurdles, as we said in the beginning of this project, and actually I was really amazed by the amount of help that we got from Waldorf, helping us out, keeping us in the loop on how things are going to be developed in the upcoming weeks, upcoming months. We actually had some feature requests that were taken into account and that were delivered quite fast. So yeah, a big thanks to them as well, because they definitely helped us making this project a success.
It sounds really great, and congratulations, Guy. I would like to announce you as a tough guys, because being in the first developing in Europe, this kind of wide range project is a tough thing. Congratulations all, and thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thanks, Neil.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Neil, for taking the lead here. And also thank you, Fox, for giving us some very technical details. I was very much looking forward to that. That's what makes TechEd so special.
You're welcome, Max.
You're welcome.
Once again, it was really, really good to hear from them about SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. And I can't wait to get my hands dirty with the SAP Data Warehouse Cloud trial. So have a look for that. And next, we already have some quite interesting stuff for the next few minutes.
Yeah. Just a short addition from my side. I think that's one of the examples that we can see how community talks are transporting what we already see is happening on the open knowledge exchange. Between community members. The next topic coming up is now a live environment, switching to Virginia, USA, where we'll have SAP community advocate Lena Stodal joining us together with SAP mentor Tammy Paulus, who's located in Virginia, USA, to share some insights. So let's travel virtually to USA and see them in a bit.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again for yet another remote check-in. We have another journey ahead of us. We've almost kind of seen the whole world. We've just rounded around the whole world because we've been to Denmark, we've been to Canada, we've been to Australia and India already. And as the little teaser just gave away, next stop is the USA. We're going to visit one of our friends and SAP mentors, Tammy Paulus, in Fairfax, Virginia, USA, because we want to give you guys really a global experience and insights from local communities all around the world. And USA is, of course, one of them, because we have a lot of SAP community members in the USA. So Tammy Paulus, as I said, is one of our SAP mentors. And our SAP mentors they are part of our SAP Influencers program. And they are our influencers in terms of contributing to the SAP community and really helping SAP community members getting on board. They're hands-on experts of SAP products and services. And I am happy that I will be joined by Tammy Paulus, Senior Business Analyst. She's already here. Hello.
Hi, Lena. Hi, Lena. Hi, everybody. Happy to be here.
Lovely seeing you. How do you like my rooftop? Well, very warm welcome.
It's lovely, and it's lovely. It looks lovely outside too.
I know. How are you doing, Tammy?
Oh, I'm good. I'm great. I'm happy to be here, enjoying the virtual Tech Ed. Sorry we couldn't be face-to-face in person, but I like the idea of consuming Tech Ed at any time. It's really a nice treat to be able to do that, to be able to wake up in the morning, join Tech Ed, and see what's going on.
I would have loved meeting you in person as well, maybe next year or the upcoming years.
Absolutely, absolutely.
From where in the world are you joining us? So I mentioned Fairfax, Virginia.
Yeah, Fairfax, Virginia. We're just 14 miles outside of Washington, D.C. Of course, then you saw in the clips a picture of our U.S. Capitol and home of the 2019 World Series baseball champions, Washington Nationals. So just not very far from Washington, D.C.
Amazing. And you are joining us from, I just see a wide background.
Yeah, I'm at the office. I work at a water utility. We're essential service, and so we still get to come to work. So it's an essential service. So it's nice to be able to still come into work in these different times.
True. Yeah, that's very true. But you're also watching our content, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm still watching the content. As in previous years, I still watch it. Like last year, I was able to watch the Barcelona keynote on the way to work, so that was nice.
And I know that you just mentioned last year Barcelona keynote, and you've been to Vegas quite often. How many Tech Eds have you visited already?
Oh, yeah. I've been to every Tech Ed since 2007, mostly in Las Vegas, of course. Really enjoy the event. And I get to, they always say it's SAP Tech Ed, it's not about marketing. It's about what the product can do. And that's what I really enjoy about Tech Ed, is seeing what the products can do, how they can help me. And I think the theme of yesterday and today, always be learning. I really like, that theme of continuously learning. And that's what Tech Ed gives you. And not just these, 2 or 3 days, but being able to learn afterwards as well.
Yeah, we're on the same page here. It's all about sharing, knowledge sharing, learning, and giving that knowledge to other community members and participants of SAP Tech Ed as well. So you're actually then an expert in showing us the difference between a physical Tech Ed and a virtual Tech Ed. How do you like our virtual SAP Tech Ed so far?
I really like it. Like I said, I like being able to attend the different sessions, and see attend the Q&A. And like this morning, I was able to attend 4 roadmaps, which at a physical Tech Ed, that would have been tough, because a lot of times they're on the show floor, or the rooms are too small, or you couldn't fit it in the schedule. Or it's nice to be able to attend the sessions I really want to see. And not that I couldn't have done that at a physical event, but it was a little more difficult. So, but I do miss seeing everybody, miss the networking, and miss the great food and service in Las Vegas. But it's but in terms of learning, it's that continuous learning that you get on a virtual event.
Yeah, I like that you always mention the food from Vegas and the gelato. You miss your dessert,
Oh yeah, the
right?
gelato. Yes, I miss that gelato. Yes, I do.
Right, lovely. Have you heard from your peers, from friends of yours, how they experienced TechEd so far? Is there any wow moment that you'd like to share that they shared with you already?
Well, I think yesterday, the first hands-on session, I recognized a lot of members from ASUG. It's nice. Not everybody, is able to travel to like Las Vegas. People have family commitments. They could be single-parent families. And I think everybody is very happy to be able to participate in TechEd. And that's, it's an overused word, but, inclusion to me, that's what this TechEd's about, that, everybody can come. And again, I recognize people from ASUG, America's SAP User Group, in yesterday's session, and we were all able to make it through the exercises, and so that's good. And the other thing about these hands-on exercises, usually at the physical TechEd, you have to share a machine. This one, you get your own machine. You get to use your own machine.
Yeah, that's true. So you're one of our SAP mentors, as I mentioned. Since when are you in that role, and do you want to share some of your responsibilities of that role, so to say?
Oh, great. That's a great question. I've been an SAP mentor since 2010, so I'm a 10-year anniversary, but I think I was selected. Oh, thank you. I think I was selected, for being an active member in the America's SAP User Group, and also sharing knowledge on the SAP community. The role of the SAP mentors changed a little bit. Now it's more influencing SAP internally, but I still think part of my role, I think, is still, sharing what I learned, with the community. And I was able to post a blog an hour ago about a session I attended this morning. So it's always great to keep sharing.
Yet another blog post. Tammy is really one of those members. If you guys ever have the feeling you need a new book or new content to read, check out her profile. She has more than 1,800 blog posts in SAP community. Congratulations to your 1,864th blog post. This is amazing that you actually share that much with the SAP community. So what is coming up next on your agenda? Do you want to give us a sneak peek? I know that you have a session coming up soon.
Right. Well, I'm going to attend a hands-on session before. I invite you all to come back to CM 101 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And I have the lucky honor of having Michelle Crapo interview me about 3 things you can do to move to S/4HANA. So I hope to see you all there, CM 101 at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Replay 8:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Nothing more to add, guys. Add that to your schedule. Tammy, it was lovely seeing you. It was lovely having you here with me. I hope you have a great rest of SAP TechEd in 2020. Enjoy the content that is out there. Stay safe, and I hope to see you soon and talk to you soon again.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Lena.
Thanks a lot. So it was great having Tammy with me here on my rooftop. Coming up next, you guys are able to enjoy our highlights of the last couple of hours. Have a good one. Enjoy it.
And
all right. Priya Dashini, Babu, and also Gunter Rodeärmel. What does that mean technology-wise?
I love this question. That's the one I've been waiting for.
We have another customer.
The first one, right?
Yeah,
so we had two.
Welcome, Nabeed. I hope you're doing fine. So great to see you.
Abab is not gone?
Absolutely.
Oh man.
2 of our champions, Lucas and Tudor, are going to be joining us.
Yes, we can hear you. Hello. I had lots of fun watching all the sessions with you guys here on the Channel 1. So I really encourage everyone to jump in between the other sessions.
Hello and welcome back to Channel 1. So Craig, how are you today?
Yeah. It has been an incredible tech ed. All good-natured, all having fun.
Let's have a look now at what the next generation of HANA fans think about a certain in-memory database's 10th birthday.
10-year-olds explain SAP HANA. HANA. SAP HANA.
I have a massive smile on my face. I love that video.
Jürgen is back today with a bunch of special guests, and I think we should take a quick peek and see what that's all about.
Today, we will show you how the SAP Business Technology Platform empowers many players in the SAP ecosystem. Up to 80% of SAP Industry Cloud solutions will come from partners. They are all key players in their industries, and we combine their industry knowledge with our competencies to deliver end-to-end business processes.
It's just unreal. I'm like, ah!
Welcome back to another half an hour of the topic upskilling. Hope you enjoyed the highlights so far. I think it's always great to see what's happening if you've missed some of the stuff happening here at SAP Tech at Channel 1. With upskilling, we will continue with a full set of people that are very active in the community, the so-called SAP champions. Correct, Max?
Absolutely. Before that, I just wanted to mention, I was kind of curious why we, as in I'm assigned to all 3 upskilling sessions. Is there like anything behind that we are allowed to do all this upskilling? Am I not skilled enough?
We?
Yeah. As in you definitely. But anyway,
I think it's definitely an honor to do that.
Absolutely. That wasn't the point. That wasn't the point.
It's about delivering that there are people out there that want to explore and upskill themselves in different topics, which is why the community members are a very great fit here into Channel 1 on transporting exactly that, what I said earlier, the open knowledge exchange between community members and, we're part of the community as well, so.
Absolutely, and I think our SAP champions are role models in that scenario.
Correct. So for those of you who don't know what SAP Champions are, the SAP Champions is one of the SAP Community Influencers program together with the SAP Mentors, and they are by heart helping you to upskill, helping you in many ways, in many topics, by answering questions in the community, attending events, speaking at events, just like here at Channel 1. And also writing blog posts about their skills. So I think the SAP champions really try to help you to make the most out of your experience with the SAP community. And yeah, so I think they definitely deserve to be, shown and have their topics presented. And maybe we didn't touch base on how the community talks started. The selection started, so there were submissions going into SAP Community on community.sap.com. And here we are with great proposals and SAP community members sharing their experiences and insights.
We already had a couple of them, and I can't wait to directly start into our next SAP community talk. We have 3 SAP champions talking about their experience in the tech industry. And I'm honored to have those 3 ladies in the discussion. We have Marina Pontiakova, SAP Analytics Manager in Latvia. We have Michelle Crepo, SAP developer from Michigan, USA. And our virtual host now will be Susan Cohen, senior programmer from Boston, USA. Without further ado, I just got the signal that we also have our Neil Paxton, which we've just seen a couple of seconds ago, also in the discussion. She's a SAP Analytics consultant, and I'm very proud to welcome her as well.
Hello, ladies.
Ladies, welcome to SAP TechEd 2020. You look brilliant, and I hope you had a brilliant TechEd so far. Sue, do you want to take over? And I'm throwing the virtual ball over to you in order to ask some questions for the ladies.
Sure. So first of all, my name is Sue, and I'm honored to be here at TechEd virtually with these wonderful women. We just have a couple of things we want to talk about in the time we're allotted. And the first question is, how did you get started in your technology field? So I'll go first. I thought that I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then I found out that there was blood involved. So, but I never had any idea I wanted to be a programmer. Back then, if I thought about a programmer, I was thinking about a guy with a short sleeve white shirt with a black tie and a pocket protector working for NASA. You know, but I stumbled upon a 6-month programming class, and I took it and I fell in love. I'd always been good with foreign languages, and to me, programming was just like learning another language. I was a little bit of a novelty. I mean, I was the only woman in that programming class. There just were not a lot of women programmers, developers, whatever you want to call us back then. I have seen a dramatic shift over these many, many years from going to practically all male teams to now the very diverse team that we have where I currently work. So that's obviously all very well and good. Michelle, can you please tell us how you got started in technology?
Well, I started back in high school. There were a lot of different math classes, and I was always taking an advanced math class, which is kind of cool. And because I was one of the few who were doing that, I got a chance to learn basic programming, literally basic. And so it was a lot of fun. I was the only lady in a group of men, which was kind of interesting. It let me get away with a lot much more. And then from there, I was going to graduate, of course, and I went to see the counselor. And the counselor told me that everything would be programmed by the time I would be out of college. Now, keep in mind, that was 1987, sorry. 1994 was when I graduated college. But so I was depressed because I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So I, in my infinite wisdom, thought I'd be an accountant. That's the only thing in SAP that I've been avoiding like the plague is the FICO. So quite obviously I wasn't cut out to be an accountant. You know, fast forward a few years and I went ahead and went to college for what I wanted to do. And I got to learn about programming, and I was hooked from the beginning. You type something in, you immediately get a response. It's your own fun thing that you can do and make something happen. So yeah, I was very, very hooked. And from there, of course, the rest is history. I went and got a job, went to work. Not as fun because you don't get to pick what you get to program, but still fun. So that's how I got involved. It was an interesting journey.
Thank you, Michelle. Marino, we're going to pop over to you and ask you the same question.
Girls, I can relate to both of your stories quite much. So as for me, hello, my name is Marina, by the way, and I hold currently a CP Analytics Manager position at Deloitte. But when I'm kind of looking at my career, I still have a lot of unanswered questions for myself. Like, for example, I'm not sure if I choose my career or my career was choose me. There was a lot of small and big coincidences, and you know what? Overall dynamic wasn't like a straight line. Yeah, it wasn't like this, it wasn't like this, it was mostly something like that. But in the end, it becomes something, right? So I started probably when I was 4, when my mom learned me to read. So I became obsessed with books, and my favorite books was about math, about logic, about some mathematician puzzles, you know, magic numbers, and so on. And during the school times, my favorite series was Friends, and I loved the Chandler Bing. So he was working in the statistical analysis and data reconfiguration, if you remember. So I perfectly dreamed that that was the job of my dream, right? So I applied to just one university, to one program, which is called Applied Mathematics and Informatics. And yeah, that time, it was 13 years ago, the websites wasn't a thing. So I read about my faculty via the website. Yeah, it was 2 pages. It looks good, but the problem is that it was a foreign university, right? So when I come to the university, the first thing which I remember, I went to the scheduling board, I looked through the schedulings, and I said out loud, wow, why we have that much programming lessons? There was a guy standing next to me, my former student. He looked at me like with a very strange look and said, yeah, that's because we'll have a specialty like the system programmers. I was completely in shock. Yeah, I basically didn't knew that I will become a programmer. But even if it was like a biggest mistake, kind of, in the same time, it becomes like my biggest fortune coincidence. Because from the day I started to work, yeah, as a programmer, I was obsessed with my job. I love it still with all my heart. So that's my story.
That's great. I love that story. So Neil, maybe you can share with us how you got started in technology.
Actually, the tech industry always sounded me as the right place because since my childhood, I have a huge passion about the computers and programming, and I think I chased simply my dreams. I studied at the high school. I studied about computer programming, university, computer programming and engineering, and finally and eventually I found myself in a tech industry, and I'm so happy since the beginning of my journey. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I heard some good news on your front. I think it was yesterday. So
yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sue.
So the next thing is like, what advice would you give, and how would you help young women starting out in technology today? Michelle?
Well, I think women, actually, more than men, go and they're afraid to post online. And once you get that first post out of your system, it's wonderful. So go ahead and share your knowledge. It will show how much that you know, and it will help prospective employers show off your skills, basically. If you have the chance to do something like this and speak, it is another wonderful thing to do. You just want to get your name out there. So when that new employer in the new age goes and types your name into a search engine, they find you, and they find good stuff out there. Also, as everyone will say, the internet holds everything. So you want to be careful what you put out there.
Okay, very good. Marina, what would you like to share?
So I have a lot of advices, but I will name a couple of them based on my own experience. The first could be like, make mistakes, do not be scared of making them, analyze them, acknowledge them, and go forward. The second will be, take the risk. Also, again, do not be scared of anything. The third, dream big, invest in your dreams. Even if they kind of doesn't have the clear picture or so, it still could become a reality. If you will be stubborn, persistent, diligent enough, right? And I doesn't want to lie. Sometimes to be a woman in tech is not simple, right? So what you should do, you need to close your ears on all the perceptions which you will hear. Focus, accept all the challenges, because it's very important. From the challenges, you will have all your experience, and experience costs a lot, basically. And maybe the last but not least, everything is basically difficult before it becomes simple. Remember that. Good luck, and I will cheer for you.
Absolutely. That's great. Neil, what would you like to tell young women starting out?
I would like to just say to go for it, and because there are still a lot of women think that they can't get into tech industry, and but there are a lot of different roles and skills needed. So they can do within the industry, and we loudly repeat this for go for it without doubt, and there's available roles and skills. Nothing scares you, and we always loudly repeat this for the young women especially.
That's great. Thank you, Neil. So I'm in a position where I can view learning from before we had the internet and now. And my advice would be, just even if you don't know what it is you're interested in, you have, as Marina said, you have everything out there, right? So go find forums, read blogs, do a lot of grazing, and you'll find the thing that speaks to you the way programming speaks to me. And if you want to join a community, we're all community members here. The SAP community is a great place to learn. And SAP also helps support diversity in a number of ways, but the community recently had an online track, a 24-hour marathon, and you could tune in and learn about CDS views or something else for just a small donation to support girls who code. So the community is a great place for you to sign up and graze all you want. Come on in, because the water's warm and so are we. So any parting words?
Oh yeah, don't name our names so we all jump in at once. For me again, I would like to say that our community is awesome. You know, they give advice. You can go to Coffee Corner and just talk about nothing. You can write a blog. You can just read blogs. But the people there are amazing. And if you're there enough, you start to get to know them.
And Marina, you were involved with SAP Online Track, weren't you? You're on mute.
She's on mute. Yep.
Well, we'll have to schedule some time to catch up with Marina in real life. Neil?
I had no chance to participate in SAP online track, but I really appreciate their initiative. It's a great initiative, and I fully and heartfully supporting them. Thank you.
Well, good. So looking forward to meeting tons of new people on the community. And really, again, I think we're all honored to be chosen to speak here.
Yes.
And I'm going to turn it back to the studio and see if Max and Menina have anything to say.
Yeah, absolutely, Sue.
Hi.
Thanks for all the insights already. I do, in fact, have some questions. I'm just impressed by so much experience in a single room, as we already had it in the developer lab, in the expert panel for the developer keynote. I'd like to, or I'm a big fan of like sharp endings, not saying that your sentences or your expressions weren't sharp, but if there's something in particular you would like to folks out there to know about how to navigate in the tech industry, what would it be?
Who's going to tackle that?
You want me to?
Yeah, go, Michelle. I'm at a loss.
I would say to go through Tech Ed, go ahead, get your sessions, sign up. But remember, Channel 1 is always on, and it's a perfect place to go and fill your time as it was. And also try not to be like me and try to get some sleep.
That's good.
No, I think it's a great advice. I mean, we're all here, Channel 1, and the SAP Tech Ed is still going. So thank you for your advice.
That wasn't scripted, by the way. I haven't told Michelle to say something like that. But that's an excellent advice, Michelle. Thank you so much. And thanks once again for taking your time. Oh, Marina, you're back. Anything to say? Any ending? Last words are up to you.
Just have a good day, guys. Take It was awesome so far. I love it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for giving some advices for folks in the tech industry out there.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
It was very interesting and very entertaining to see those ladies having fun in this panel and telling us about how to navigate in the tech industry, their experiences, where to look for more advices or inspiring topics like on the SAP community or being on Channel 1. That was a brilliant lead into staying with us. Menina, I know there's lots of stuff to cover, and it's broad topics, and it's sadly kind of like too less time to cover all of them. We had a couple of community talks already. What was your favorite so far?
My favorite was this panel because they kind of speak out what I think. And I would like to say that all community talks that we just heard, I mean, all of them are active community members. You can follow them in the community. You can read what they write. I mean, everything they just shared, they are quite active, blogging and answering. When it comes to the women here, I think what they shared was definitely motivational, inspiring for women to enter the tech industry. And
Good point. And that's, I think, a good reason why they SAP champions, because they are inspiring others, right?
Correct. And my call to action, or actually what I would like to recommend everyone, since you're watching, you're part of SAP Tech Ed experience, is that with that ID that you received with your SAP Tech Ed registration, you can enter community.sap.com and directly connect with everyone. I mean, we still have hours to go forward with SAP Tech Ed, we're happy to see you connecting with everyone online.
Because sharing is
Sharing is caring, and we will now switch from the kitchen to the living room. Stay tuned.
Did you know that SAP's analytics portfolio offers modern and cloud-based solutions that help you gain powerful insight and model the data according to your needs? My name is Abbas Siddiq, and I am part of the SAP HANA and Analytics Solution Management team. As the Analytics Track Lead at SAP TechEd, I want to invite you personally to join us in our fully digital event. If you're looking for the latest news on analytics, data warehousing, and cloud-based solutions, our track is the place to be. Join us to learn more about our cutting-edge solutions like SAP Analytics Cloud and SAP Data Warehouse Cloud. With this knowledge, you will be able to tackle all your analytical challenges. Our sessions do not only offer you a full picture of today's analytics world, but you will also learn how to transform your analytics landscape into a future-proof platform. So, are you ready to take your analytics to the next level? Then join me at our exciting digital event and find out what SAP has to offer for you.